You saw the title. We got the best lockdown build for Pro and 5v5 in 2K24. Let's get it.
There it is.
Get up. Get up. Come on, kid. Get up. What's good, fellas? It's Blitz. I know I made a little joke in the thumbnail about how this is the Ray Lewis lock, but it really is, honestly. This is a super high strength lock, and that's why I called it that. This build can defend like crazy, pluck, catch intercepts, and honestly, it can shoot the lights out. And the best part is you will be shoving the PG all over the floor and making them want to break their monitors. I do go very in depth in these builds, but I also know that that's not necessarily for everyone. I know there are some Pro-Am vets, quote unquote, that probably is not here for all that extra stuff, so please feel free to skip to the end, check out the end product. It's not going to hurt my feelings at all. I totally get it. I just put a lot of detail into this because I have gotten a lot of positive feedback from doing so, and I feel like I like to feel like I bring something a little bit different to these build videos. As always, I stream every game my team plays, so if you are interested in watching us play Pro-Am or League matchups, I will post some on the YouTube, but you can view them all over there on the Twitch link down below. You can find all the media links down below in the description. Check out the Twitter, check out the Discord server. If you like the content you see here, please leave a like and subscribe, and go ahead and hit the bell so you know the second I drop a new video. Alright, let's get it going. Viewer warning, this build is specifically engineered for Pro-Am 5v5 and designed to fit into a unique role on a full team. This is just a fair warning I want to give you guys so that y'all don't make this build and feel misled. I make this build for comp, Pro-Am, and to fit into a certain role. So this is not necessarily a build for the 2s, 3s, solo rec, or whatever. If you do have any questions about that or like the fit that it might have in other game modes, comment down below. I answer everyone. Up next is the build creation formula. This is something I designed to simplify the process of creating a build while also helping you not accidentally mess it up. I use this process for every build I've ever made on 2K, and it is incredibly helpful to me to keep me in check. And I'm sure it will be to some of you. So the build creation formula, number one, what role am I playing? It's important to understand what you're trying to do with your build. Not just for this build specifically, but for all builds. Understand what you need to get done. What do you need to be a lead at? What do you need? What boxes do you need to check to help your team win in your specific role? And then use that information to go to step 2. Identify what specific attribute caps, animation thresholds, and specific badges are non-negotiable or must-haves on this build. What do you need to hit in order to accomplish your step 1? And then you go all the way down to step 3, focus on adding creativity or maximizing areas. I know it says maximizing badge counts. I'm using an old graphic from 2K23. I'll eventually remake it, but we know we don't have badge points in 2K24, but the concept still applies. The last step is to focus on adding creativity or maximizing different areas that you want to make mega strong. So let's roll back up there to step number 1. Let's talk about this build specifically. Let's talk about the role for a second. The role we are playing is overall just a defensive menace. Make the PG's life miserable with plucks and bumps. Coordinate well with your team and specifically your power forward back end if you're facing pick and roll, and talk about pick and roll shading, calling rotations, and offensively just be able to hit your open shots. That's kind of a good summary of your entire role as a lockdown with this build. Now let's go ahead and take a look at step 2, which is identifying the must-have attributes. And again, this is very early on in the game, guys, so don't hold me within an inch of my life for this stuff. We might find out within a week or 3 months that some of this stuff we think is important is not important. I mean, most of you know this. 2K changes very often, and we find out that sometimes certain attributes mean absolutely nothing. Sometimes certain badges don't work. Sometimes they do work. Sometimes OP, something's not OP. It gets uncovered as the year goes on, so keep that in mind. This is just, early game. What I think is the must-have attributes on a build like this. This is just our best guesses at this point. But as far as creating, remember, this is just creating the structure of this build, so don't look at some of this stuff and panic. But this is just the structure of what we're working with. So let's just go down the list. 65 driving dunk. It unlocks probably the best dunk package in the game, which is Athletic hangs off one. It's certainly the best budget dunk package in the game. 74 three-pointer at the minimum for silver catch and shoot. 75 pass accuracy is just practical, especially being on the breaks. As a lockdown, you're leaking out on the breaks. You want to have a decent pass accuracy to throw it back and forth between you and your two guard as y'all both leak out. 98 perimeter defense. We're gonna have that pretty firm there. Hall of Fame 94 feet. Hall of Fame challenger, ankle braces, pick dodger, workhorse, and then gold clamps and fast feet on top of that is all unlocked with perimeter D. And 96 steel for a Hall of Fame interceptor, right stick ripper, and then gold glove. 87 speed is just practical. You want to be a fast lock as fast as possible. Even if you're a strong lock, you still want to be a fast lock. 77 Excel gets you gold fast feet, and 95 strength is kind of what most of this build is created around. This idea of how good Hall of Fame immovable forcer can be, since we keep seeing, at least in our experience, and I know other YouTubers have seen this and talked to this as well, how good immovable enforcer is. So the entire idea behind this is to be so physical with the guards with the ball that it makes it difficult for them to really do anything with that 95 strength and Hall of Fame immovable enforcer. So keep that in mind. That is kind of the main idea behind this build. 60 vert is going to unlock dunk animations, and 99 stamina for a Hall of Fame workhorse and 94 feet. Now that we understand our role and we have the build structure and the must-have attributes, now we can move on to the builder and start playing around with it. Now, I'm realizing also, like as I'm talking, I'm realizing this. We made the position at power forward. The height's going to be 6'6", weight 255, wingspan 7 foot. And I say I'm realizing it right now because I just remembered something. We made this lock at a unique position at power forward for a reason. And quite frankly, it doesn't really matter what position you made, but I can't remember why we had to make it at power forward instead of small forward. I can't remember. I think it had something to do with the relationship between the three-pointer and the high strength that we're trying to get to, but I'll get to that in just a second, what I think it is. And if y'all can make this same build at small forward, please feel free to do so, and let me know I'm wrong in the comments. Let me know, please. But now most of you understand. Now I've done nothing to this so far except what we just listed on the screen previously as our must-have attributes. But now many of you understand that when you put certain things up in this game, it puts up other things. So like I said, I promise, I've done nothing extra. We just have our structure. This is just the structure of the build. So now we can move on to that step 3 I was talking about from the formula of adding creativity or maximizing attributes and skill sets. So let's just go down the list of what I have here in my notes. Let's start up at the top. We're going to go to driving dunk first. We decided to put the driving dunk up to 80. Now, the reason why we decided to do that was there's not really a super specific reason other than the other changes that we make to this build as we go down. There wasn't room to go higher, and we wanted it to be higher because the locks are out on the break a lot, and we want them to be able to finish. We don't want a mega low finishing lock out on the break, touching the ball on 50 to 75% of our breaks near the rim and not being able to finish. So, and that also will be solved with the next thing I do, which is put the standing dunk up to 45. Now that unlocks 2 standing dunk packages. You can find those on 2K Labs. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think they're just basic one-handers and basic two-handers for standing dunks. I believe that's what they're called, but I forget. But yeah, you want your lock to be able to finish, not just on backdoor cuts, but be able to finish on the break as well, even through a little bit of traffic. Finish over these small little point guards who try to get back in transition to stop the fast break. So the next thing we do is going to be kind of a question mark for a lot of people. You're going to think, well, why are you doing that? Well, let me explain. I'm going to put this three-pointer all the way up to 87. Now, this might not work for you guys. This might be a different deal for some of you. But for us, we have a very unique talent at the lock position. We have quite possibly the best scoring lock in 2K, and I'm not exaggerating. He might be the best scoring lock, the best scoring 2K player that plays lock in 2K. Sincerely, he really might be. And giving him this room, this freedom, to have such high shooting attributes just makes him a lethal weapon from the corner. Not just on catch and shoots, but I'm talking about fades going up to the hash. I'm talking about plays designed for him to get open. I'm talking about shooting over the PG. I'm talking about getting the ball and running away from the slow centers that are guarding him in the corner. All sorts of stuff like that. This gives him the tools to be able to do this. So if you have somebody on your team that could benefit from this, please feel free to do so, because this is a great idea and serves us really, really well. So putting it all the way up to 87 gives us gold catch and shoot, corner specialist, space creator, claim, or guard up, and it gets you silver agent 3, blinders, deadeye, and open looks. That is way better badges, way better shooting badges than you will ever see anybody else on any other team their corner shooter have, unless they have somebody playing out of position. This is great shooting attributes and shooting badges for somebody in the corner. And if you put a talented guy with this type of equipment on him, with these type of skills and tools for him to use, and what they'll always do, especially in Pro-Am, they'll have a PG with low or no defense, or they will have a big 7-foot slow center guarding them. I mean, it's a problem. It is something you have to focus on. Otherwise, you will be getting 20 put on you from the corner. I guarantee it. Moving along, though, down to pass accuracy, we're going to move it up to 77. Again, this has to kind of do with the fast break aspect of it. We want that lock to be able to have, again, obviously be able to shoot on the break and be able to finish on the break, but also be able to pass on the break, because it's not just him on the break. It's going to be our 2 guard that also plays at the top of the zone, or I mean zone, man up, top of, but however you really want to describe it, honestly. But your basic pick and roll defense, your 2 guard is going to be the secondary defender guarding the opposite hash. He's going to be leaking out too. So you want them to have that good capability to pass it back and forth and get to an open shot. And I think that it really helps because you get silver relay passer and bronze needle threader. Now, are those complete game changers? No, but we were able to fit it in, so we did. And then from here on out, we kind of just find ourselves in a situation where we can't really add anything super meaningful. So you kind of just start placing stuff, and you'll find that a lot with your builds, where you feel like you're kind of wasting attributes, but the reality is you can't reach anything else that's like meaningful or a threshold with the remaining overall. Like, for example, I can't put up his post control super high to give him like a post fade type of thing. Like, it just won't get high enough to like add that to his bag. So you just end up kind of in a weird spot where you're like, I don't really know where to put the rest of this stuff. But so what we decided to do was go ahead and bump this acceleration up to 80. That gives him gold spot finder. That's cool. Again, we have plays designated for our guy Juice to get him wide open, get him good shots off the dribble, but also catch and shoot. You can press that right trigger and spot finder to certain locations, like spot finder up to the hash, spot finder to the midi, and knock down the shot. So again, gold spot finders, really, really good. And then you just kind of put the rest wherever you want. We just put the rest on free throw. We put, what is it, standing dunk up, I think, and then post control. It doesn't really matter at this point. None of that really matters. And the free throw is also good too, because again, they like to foul in transition to kind of keep it from getting ugly. They like to foul in transition to keep us from scoring. So that's always good for them to have a high free throw. So we get shades of Jalen Williams, Al Horford. Like, where does that fit in? Al Horford and Jeremy Grant. And this is a unique build name, 3-point threat. They're not going to expect your main lockdown to be called 3-point threat. But anyway, the shades are kind of funky. But I think it's just because we had to put them at power forward. But yeah, anyway, that's the build name. That'll do it for the build. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoy the Pro-Am matchups or the build videos, or maybe you decide to make this build specifically, let me know down in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell so you know when I drop a new video. Don't forget about the link down below, especially if you want to tune in on Twitch. All right, that's all I got. Y'all have a great one. I'll catch you in the next one. Blitz out.
There it is.
Get up! Kid, up! Come on, kid! Get up!